Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a very serious show in store for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into this topic here because it's a very serious one. As you guys know, there's some pretty nasty things being alleged against JJ Redick, right? Where people are essentially saying that, look, a lady saying that he used a racial slur against her. Depending on the order in which you're seeing this show, we actually produced another show where we were reacting to an old audio of JJ Redick apparently using a racial slur against Asians. And then he later had to come out and apologize via ESPN report. And we produced this show not too long ago. Obviously, depends on the order in which you're coming across these shows today. So what happened? This morning, I tuned in to Fox Sports Radio, one of my favorite shows on there, The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Chris Broussard. And Chris Broussard was there today, and he was reacting to this report about these racial slurs that allegedly JJ Redick used. And Chris Broussard said something quite interesting after unpacking the background of the story. He then goes on to say that it better not be the case. It better not be the case that JJ Redick is lying, because he did release a statement that Chris Broussard actually said. And he said that if we find out that JJ Redick is actually lying about saying these things, because he has denied it, it is not going to end well for him. So those are the comments that we want to anchor in on today. But before we even get into what Chris Broussard had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, PrizePicks, which is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. PrizePicks is really simple. Instead of just selecting a team, you just select two or more players, pick more or less their projected stats, and then you place your entry. For example, this week, I'm selecting two entries. Stephen Curry for more than 25 points, and then I got Anthony Davis for more than 2 blocks, and Damian Lillard for more than 4 3-pointers made. PrizePicks is also the only daily sports platform with an injury insurance policy. So for example, if you have a player who gets injured in the first half and doesn't return to the second half, that player gets automatically rebooted. What I also love about PrizePicks is that it offers weekly promotions like Taco Tuesdays. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit matchup up to $100. That's go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is want to play exactly what Chris Broussard had to say in response to JJ Redick in terms of this warning that he gave him, because he gave him a serious one. And then we're going to come back and react to what Chris Broussard had to say. Take a listen to this here.
The headline reads, JJ Redick denies calling woman N-word. Now, TMZ reached out to JJ's camp, and here's what they were told. It's a direct quote in the story. It reads, "No, it never happened." That's it. It was short and sweet. The way TMZ described it, they said, "We reached out to Redick's camp for a response to the claim, and they completely shut it down." Now, I did a little digging. I did not talk to this woman, but I did do some digging. I was, as Rob G knows, I was trying to get her on the show because I do want to kind of, this is obviously a huge claim, and want to get her on the show to talk about it, verify if it's true and her account wasn't hacked and things like that. From what I understand, she does not want to do any media. We'll see if she keeps that going. But and from what I understand, Martin, she was surprised at how this thing kind of snowballed. And the reason we didn't even lead the show with it was because we just wanted to kind of make sure this thing, that was really accurate before we dealt with it. But now JJ Redick's camp answers it and they deny it. And here's what I'll say to that, Martin. And I don't know if Halima Nash will come out and speak to it. But what I will say is that JJ Redick better not be lying, or whoever spoke for him better not be lying.
Yeah.
Because it'd be bad enough if you did it. But you can, it was, if it had happened, I will say that because he's denied it. It would have been 20 years ago, something like that. You could, you could, maybe survive that.
I think there's a path to reconciliation.
Right. That was so long ago. Obviously, he's developed good relationships with African Americans. Now, the one thing is not like he didn't know any African Americans at Duke, not like he hadn't been playing with black players much of his life, as a top great high school and college player. But I agree with you that, it's 20 years ago. If it wasn't a pattern and something your behavior at Duke and so after that would have to line up with somebody that is not racist and somebody who was remorseful if indeed they did that. And you could perhaps survive it. The one thing that would possibly nail him if he had done it and apologized for it, Martin, would be if players just weren't feeling you because of it. And obviously you need black players. And if they weren't feeling you, how they reacted to you would be an issue or could be an issue. But if it comes out and look, you got two people making claims. I don't know who's right or who's telling the truth, but I'm just saying JJ better not be lying. Because if it comes out, like I said, it would have been bad enough, but then you deny it, that very well might cost him his job.
So you heard what Chris Broussard had to say. Look, this isn't the type of press that you need, especially if you're a person, this JJ Redick. Why? Listen, a lot of people have been saying JJ Redick is a basketball savant, fantastic, but there are other things that people are saying about JJ Redick. A lot of people think that he's very arrogant. He's very dismissive. They don't like the way that he spoke about generations from the past. You heard the things that he had to say about the era in which Jerry West played for. And it's interesting, the Lakers still went ahead and hired him anyway. That's interesting. And a lot of people are also saying that they don't believe he's qualified to have that Laker position. And one person that recently said that was basically James Worthy with an audio that was released yesterday. We published a show about it where he was just basically saying that this is going to be another 2-year hire. So there are these things that are being said about JJ Redick, but none of them are on the level of a story like this. And I agree with Chris Broussard. It better not be the case that JJ Redick said these things, because I don't know JJ Redick. So I can't say he did or he didn't. I don't know him, and I'm not going to say that because I'm not a private eye. I'm not an investigator here. If it comes out that he did in fact say it, then I'll say it. Until then, I don't know. But if it turns out in fact that he did say it, it's going to be a horrendous situation for JJ Redick and the Los Angeles Lakers, because then it'll bring into question what type of due diligence did the Los Angeles Lakers do in the first place? What is the due diligence process? Don't you vet these people that you're looking to hire? Especially with a position like that, especially given the fact that you guys had just fired in the last 10 years 4 head coaches. Wouldn't this be something that you would ensure that, hey, listen, we cross our T's and dot our I's, that we make sure that everything is 100% green lit and good to go? Listen, I agree with Chris Broussard. Personally, I'm praying that none of this is true. I'm praying that none of this is true because I don't take pleasure in seeing people's downfall. Because if this is true, it is going to, number one, it's going to be the biggest story in the NBA. And it's going to bring a whole lot of negative press that the Lakers just do not need. And if it is true, I don't see how I don't see how they're able to retain JJ Redick as a head coach. I don't see it. I don't see it. Remember, Donald Sterling lost his team over a recording. So if we find out that in fact JJ Redick is lying about what that lady alleged, is going to be a very, very, very messy situation. So look, these are our thoughts on it. What I want to know from you guys is the following. Number one, what do you think about what Chris Broussard had to say in terms of his warning? Do you think he's on the money with that? Do you think he's on the money with that? And secondly, how do you see this entire thing playing out? Do you think this story grows legs, or do you think that ultimately it just fades away into the background? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.